Dani, what were you struggling with before we started working together?
I was exhausted. I had insomnia. I couldn't sleep. I would wake up in the middle of the night and not be able to go back to sleep. My brain would kick in, and that's all I could focus on. I gained weight, significant amount of weight when I never struggled. During my whole life, basically, I exercised because I enjoyed it or hiked because I enjoyed it, not because I needed it. So that weight gain was significant for me. I had brain fog. I couldn't thought, but I thought, oh, this is what happens when you get old, right? I just attest everything to this is happening because I'm older. This is just what we do. We deal with all of this. I basically had times where if I wasn't able to concentrate, I had stress at work, but for some reason, I wasn't able to deal with the stress. I couldn't handle it. It almost overtook me versus being able to, take a deep breath. And I was trying to do all those things, but nothing was really helping. Really, I was working out. I was trying to get more energy that way because I was low energy. I was exhausted. I just was tired all the time and gained weight and started feeling really badly about myself.
How did that affect your life, personal life, work life?
You know, the stress thing for my job, it's a very high stress position. And, other people noticed that I wasn't, that I was like almost overwhelmed. And I'm in an administrative position in this job.
Yeah.
And people look to me. And I didn't want that to be conveyed. And that was a hard pill to swallow. I'm looking at them, I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm good. I got this. But they saw differently. I didn't recognize these things, like I was saying. I didn't really see it until people drew it to my attention, or when I saw your video, I heard these things and I'm like, light bulb.
And how did the weight gain affect you? Your confidence?
Yeah, that was tough. It was tough for me. I think I was harder on myself than anybody. Like my daughter would make little comments like, hey, mom, you want to go, walking with us? Or, we're going to go on a hike. You want to go hike with us? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. My husband would not have I would have never known that I had gained 25 pounds if it was according to my husband, because he just looks at me like I'm beautiful. So on that aspect, I have such a great support system. He was wonderful, but I saw it in myself. And I had to buy clothes because my clothes weren't fitting. And I struggled with that emotionally because I never really had to deal with that before, so I felt a little bit like I could almost feel myself shrinking in a shell instead of just being like I am today, just very confident, and proud of myself.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
So out of all the coaches out there, why did you decide to work specifically with me? What made you decide to take that step with me?
Well, that was a big risk for me. I had looked to other things. I started eating clean. I listened to other people. I had already kind of understood about clean eating and kinesiology, and I was going to see a chiropractor who was making adjustments for my system to work with my body, and nothing was really changing. My stress level was still really high. I came across your video on Instagram, and something just inside of me went, why not? I might as well take a risk, right? I didn't know who you are. I thought, well, let me just get some questions answered. And because you said, hey, if you're experiencing some of these things, I can answer some of your questions. We can have a little call. And during that phone call, I felt like a peace come about me. And I'm very spiritual. So to me, that was huge. Like I felt comfortable and safe. And I knew that I was going to get answers that I wasn't able to find before, to be honest.
I appreciate it. So glad.
I'm so glad I did.
So glad you took that step.
Yeah.
So as a result of taking that step, what results did you achieve?
Honestly, I feel like a new person. I feel like my old self again. I mean, because you and I started with a diet change, which I was so ready for. I knew it was going to be a big change because nobody else in the house really was concerned about their eating habits. But having the knowledge that you taught me about women my age and going through perimenopause, you can't do the same things. Like what everyone else is doing doesn't affect them, but it's definitely going to affect me. So if I wanted to find the change that I've been kind of searching for the last 2 years, and nothing, I'm like, I'm going to take your advice. I'm going to take the information that you're giving me and helping me learn, and I'm going to apply that to myself. And I was really weary about the hormone replacement because I am extremely sensitive to medications. I'm not a pill popper. I'm allergic to a lot of the main medications, antibiotics, painkillers. I can't take things the way normal people can just because I'm sensitive, apparently. And so I was a little bit cautious about that. But I felt very reassured by you. Like, we're going to take little steps, because I didn't even get that from like my physician. Like, this is what you do. This is how it goes. And I didn't feel supported by them, but I really did feel like you were going to walk with me through this. That was important to me because I never felt that before, you know, with anybody. And knowing that you were going to guide me like in little steps. If that doesn't work, we're going to reevaluate, and then we'll see what else works. But it worked really, really well.
So your symptoms are all gone, and you're.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah.
No.
So I think it took. I think before I got my blood work done, just from changing my diet with changing the anti-inflammatories, I started feeling better. I started sleeping a little bit better. Not everything had changed, but I noticed just a little bit. I ended up losing about 20 to 25 pounds. I started kind of gaining a little bit, I think, of muscle weight. So it's still about the same, which I'm completely happy with, because my clothes fit differently. All the clothes that I bought for when I was a big girl don't fit me anymore, which I'm happy about. And then even some of the clothes that I saved from when I was thinner are almost too big too. So for me, that gave me a ton of self-confidence. I feel so physically good. And then taking the hormones, I started sleeping better. I feel like my hair is growing and my nails are growing and I feel stronger. I feel like I'm living the life I would have been living like 5 years ago before all of these symptoms and things started happening. I feel like I'm my old self again, but on a better version,
Yeah,
if that makes sense, like a Dani 2.0.
absolutely. You're an evolved version of yourself.
That's how I feel.
Amazing to hear. Where do you think you'd be right now if you didn't take that step?
You know, probably still in a depressive state. I mean, I didn't realize some of the things that I was going through until I came out of them. You know, I looked back and reflected about what has happened. Like, I stopped taking photos of myself because I was so disappointed in the way that I looked. That's not how I had ever presented myself before. And I felt like I succumbed to, this is my life, and what am I going to have to do to adjust living like this? And knowing that I am not there anymore, and I can be strong and confident, and you know, I don't know, it's such a amazing feeling that I didn't realize how dark I was, and I probably would still be there. I would, you know, feel like this is my life, and that's what I was doing. I'm like, this is what I've been dealt. I really didn't have anybody that I could talk to about it or feel like there was support. It's just, oh, wait for the hot flashes, wait for these horrible things that are going to happen to you. And I felt dread. I'm like, if this is what I'm feeling now, it's going to get worse. Great.
Yeah.
What do I do with that?
Yeah.
And now I feel confident that I can go through those things in a better way, and maybe not as severe, but even the knowledge that you've shared with me of what can I expect? How can I handle going through these things? What steps can I do? I have all the tools now. You know, I have everything now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for giving me what I need to live my best self.
Thank you so much. I'm so grateful.
Yeah,
So grateful.
me too.
So following up with this point, if there are women right now watching this interview and they are in that dark place, experiencing same symptoms, experiencing weight gain, they tried everything, they're not losing it, they're not feeling better, and they're watching this interview, they're on the verge maybe of booking a call with me to talk to me, what would be your advice to them?
Don't hesitate another minute. Absolutely. What do you have to lose? Sorry. I think everybody deserves support the way that you give support. You know, now that I'm connected with you and, you know, my algorithm is really on women's health, there's a lot of people out there that are offering help. I know from my own experience, if someone would have referred you to me, I would have done this years ago. If I would have been able to hear someone say, I trust this guy, you know, and I took a risk. I was like, I don't know you. You could just be, you know, some crazy person. But I really did take that risk, and I trusted myself. I trusted my spirit that this was good. You made me feel comfortable. I know where your heart is. I know that it's a passion for you to help people, and that's really your goal. It's not about fame, fortune, you know, whatever. I know you have to live, and this is your livelihood, but I know that behind that is the passion that you had to help women and the education that you have put yourself through to be knowledgeable and informative. And you have such a great, strong, but safe disposition. I trust anybody that I know to put in your hands. I, no doubt in my mind, would not hesitate. If anybody wants to message me, call me, like, hey, is this, what is this? Is this real? Is this guy for real? Absolutely. I have sent so many people just your website, research him, look at what he's doing, look at what he knows. But to have someone walk beside you, it's, for me, it was so great because I do feel like you pulled me out of a dark pit and you walked by my side. Now I'm like frolicking in these beautiful waves and life and sunshine. And I don't think I would be here without you. I really, I know that in my spirit. I really do. I'm so grateful. I'm so blessed to have come across you and to have learned everything that you have taught me so willingly. I'm just so grateful, so thankful.
I'm so grateful too, Dani. And last thing, if there are women watching this and they have a very busy schedule, they have a lot of stress, maybe kids, full-time job, and they think that time is a barrier, like they can't commit the time to this, share
Right.
with them a little bit about what you experienced.
So basically, when I started this process, even though I was in a state of like, I'm desperate, I need something, I need help, we started our home remodel. And so I've been in this for 4 months, and almost the entire time, my house has been ripped apart. So for the last 3 months, I haven't had a kitchen. It's just been like, use an air fryer or you know, whatever you can. I work a full-time job. It's a very high stress job. And in the very beginning, I was, you know, for the first couple of weeks, I was able to meal prep. And luckily, I kind of got a good system down and good recipes. But I knew in my mind, I'm not going to have a kitchen to cook in. What are the things that I need to learn now that is going to help me be successful? I knew food prepping was going to be my key, because if I didn't have anything ready, I would not be successful. And so I learned to do those things during this whole process. And it's a high stressful situation too. And I thought for sure that that was going to cause me a lot of issues. But I believe the hormones that were given to me just took that away. You know, it took that. Of course, it's high. It's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. But if I can do this, anybody can do this. And that's honest to God truth. I sabotaged myself for years. And I think the key really was every tool that you gave me and you walking by my side, saying, I'm here to support you, anything you need, anytime. That was really key for me, because even though I really wanted to just do good for myself, I wanted to do it for my family, for my husband. I want to live the best last part of my life, the best way I possibly can. And this has allowed me to see that. I can see me living the best life. Like, I don't want to be on a walker. I don't want to, you know, be all those things early. Like, I see people my age that are, you know, that they can't function properly. And I know I have the tools, and I want to help these people know too, because I think a lot of that is you don't know. What you don't know can't hurt you, but what you do know can help you. Knowledge is power, and I've always believed that. Like, the more I know, the better I can be. And I've taken everything that you have taught me, and now that my memory is better, I'm holding it, you know. It's not gone, you know. It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. If I can take the time during a full kitchen remodel and house remodel, anybody can do this. You just need to find what works best for you during those times. And if anybody's in that situation and you need some ideas, message me. I am 100% wanting to help. Absolutely. I'll be available.
You're helping so many women by doing
I
this
hope
interview
so.
with me to inspire them.
Yeah, I hope so.
Thank you so much for doing this with me, Dani.
No problem.